Emma was halfway up the stairs to her apartment when she realized it. Her phone was not in her pocket. Panic rose fast and hot in her throat as she spun around and sprinted back to the curb, but the cab was already long gone, swallowed by traffic and taillights. Emma patted her coat pockets again, checked her purse twice, and finally accepted the truth. Somewhere between juggling her takeout, umbrella, and a half-hearted phone call with her sister, she'd left her phone on the back seat. She groaned. Of course! It had been that kind of week. Deadlines stacked on meetings, stacked on skipped lunches. The city had been unusually gray, the kind of damp cold that got into your mood. Back upstairs, Emma logged into her laptop and opened the tracker. Her phone was moving steadily through the city. Still on shift, then. Emma called, but there was no answer. She tried again 5 minutes later, but still nothing. On the third attempt, someone picked up. "Hello?" a deep, amused voice said. "You must be the woman with excellent taste in playlists and terrible luck with phones." Emma blinked. Yes, yes. That's me. You found it?" "I did." "It buzzed under your takeout bag, which, by the way, smelled amazing." She let out a breath of relief and dropped into her kitchen chair. "Thank you. I was starting to freak out." "Totally understandable. I'd freak out too if I lost my whole digital soul in one shot." She laughed despite herself. "That's exactly what it feels like." There was a pause. Then he said, "Check your camera roll when you get it back. I left you something." Before she could ask, he added, "I'm on my way. 20 minutes?" And just like that, he hung up. 20 minutes later, the same cab pulled up in front of her building. Emma opened the door and leaned in. "Hi," she said. "Emma?" "Nico," he replied, handing her the phone with a slight bow. "Your knight in slightly smelly armor." Emma smiled, unsure whether to laugh or run. "I appreciate the rescue." "You're welcome. I'm usually not this heroic, so it must have been the takeout. Or the playlist. That acoustic version of Can't Help Falling in Love? Solid choice." He winked, and she flushed. Emma took the phone, said thank you again, and closed the door before she could embarrass herself further. Upstairs, curiosity got the better of her, and she unlocked her phone and opened the photo app. There it was. A grinning selfie of the cab driver, thumbs up, messy curls poking out from under his cap. The caption read, "I'm returning this because I'm a gentleman, not because I want your number, but I wouldn't say no either. Nico." Emma stared at the screen, a laugh escaping her lips before she could stop it. She stood there for a long moment, phone in hand. Then, impulsively, she hit call. They talked for 3 hours. At first, it was light. How he ended up driving cabs after a stint in photography school, the weirdest things people had left behind, a full roasted chicken once, and why he always had mint gum in the glove box. Emma told him about her job, corporate marketing for a tech firm, and how the endless Zoom meetings were turning her brain into oatmeal. Nico was funny, earnest, and easy to talk to in a way she could not quite explain. He was also unexpectedly insightful. When Emma mentioned how isolating the city felt sometimes, he didn't change the subject or offer a cliché. He just said, "Yeah, all these people stacked on top of each other and somehow still lonely. Weird, right?" Emma nodded, even though he couldn't see her. "Exactly. I moved here thinking it'd feel electric, but most days it just feels quiet." Nico was quiet for a second, then he said, "Not tonight." Emma blinked. "No, not tonight." There was a long pause. Not awkward, just comfortable. Somewhere around midnight, he asked, "So, can I call you next time? Just for fun. No lost phone required." Emma smiled. "Yeah, I think I'd like that." Over the next few days, they texted like old friends. Morning memes, midday check-ins. A photo of his dog wearing sunglasses. "Rico Suave," the caption said. Once, when her meeting got canceled, she called him just to say hi. They talked about music, favorite foods, and dream vacations they couldn't afford. He sent her a voice note once, just a joke about potholes, but she replayed it twice anyway. Then one Friday, Emma's usual rideshare bailed, and she was about to request another when her thumb hovered. Instead, she scrolled to Nico's contact and hit call. He arrived 10 minutes later in a cleaner-than-usual cab, and a button-up shirt she was 90% sure he didn't wear on most shifts. You clean up well, she teased, sliding into the front seat. Nico tapped his temple. Special occasions. This doesn't count as a date, you know, Emma said, laughing. Of course not, he said solemnly. This is just business. You pay, I drive. She raised a brow. So the button-up's just part of the service? I have to maintain my image. They drove through the city with the windows down, the radio low, and that same easy warmth between them. Emma told him about her boss's weird obsession with graphs. Nico told her about a woman who tried to pay him in avocados. When they pulled up outside her office, she hesitated before opening the door. He leaned toward her. So, dinner instead of drop-off next time? Emma grinned. Only if you promise to take another ridiculous selfie. His eyes sparkled. Deal. Sometimes the best things begin in the most unexpected places. For Emma, it was a cab ride, a lost phone, and a driver with a lopsided grin, who turned out to be exactly what she didn't know she needed.
Original heartwarming fiction every week. Subscribe for your next great story.